Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. Watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Dainese Corbin D-Dry jacket, available at RevZilla.com. New for fall 17, moving into 18, this is the Corbin D-Dry from Dainese. Dainese, good on ya mates out of Italy, because we've seen this hole in the lineup for some time. This is a leather coupled with mesh with a removable thermal and waterproof liner system that's going to give you a premium sport touring style of the leather mesh jacket that really will cover you spring, summer, and fall in a multitude of riding conditions. So if it's hot out, you're pulling your liners, you're getting great airflow. If it gets a little cooler, your thermal goes in. If you're going to see wind, wet, rain, you're going to put your waterproof breathable D-Dry membrane in, and that's going to keep you warm, it's going to keep you cool, it's going to keep you waterproof, as this is truly a modular system, liners to drop, just coming in over the $500 mark. And what I really like about it, now, for a decade, we've seen Revit have their Ignition and now their Ignition 2. Revit's is a little bit more technical. It has a little bit more of a retro-inspired feel to it. When I look at the Dainese Corbin D-Dry, this is classic Italian sexy, clean lines. The leather is going to be the PU-coated charge leather, which is going to be 1.1 millimeter. It's going to be a little bit lighter weight than race-grade cowhide, but it carries that PU coating, makes it water-resistant, actually adds a little bit of style and flavor to it. This jacket is distinctly Dainese. If we really tried to pull it apart, there wasn't much about it that we didn't like. There's also not much about it that I can gripe when you get into the mid-fives. This is a lot of jacket in the mid-fives. If you put Gore-Tex in it, you're probably in the $600 or $700 range, but we think for what it is, that's perfectly fine. Now, quick note on fitment. High Vizzle Brizzle, 6 foot, 195, 42-inch chest. He's wearing a size 52. And you can see it's a bit of a sport touring cut. It's not overly boxy, it's not overly racy, and ultimately he has all of the liners in right now, so you can see how he fills it out. Brian's athletic like I am. I will tell you though, when you drop both liners, there's a little bit of extra room, so you do have some play here. And there's a little bit of extra circumference in that neck. So keep that in mind when you're buying it. Ultimately, you should have room to move. It's not going to be overly constrictive, but it is really sport touring. I like it in the upright riding position. I like it in the 3/4. I don't know if I'm stretching it into the tuck, but keep that in mind as you go through your decision-making framework to land potentially in a Corbin D-Dry. You can always tag us too for our insight. Remember, we'll ship for free over 39 bucks. And I'd love it if you click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel, leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on this Corbin. Now, diving into some of the nuanced details itself. We haven't talked armor yet. CE rated composite armor from Dainese, shoulder, elbow, forearm, and it does not come with a back protector. You'd upgrade that to something like the Manus. The other thing you're going to see is there are no vents here. That's because in the outer shell you have your PU coated charged leather coupled with your premium Dainese mesh. You're going to see it on the front, down the insides of the sleeves, and you're going to see it on the back as well. Now again, are you trading some slideability and some protective element for this mesh? You absolutely are. Is it a more premium mesh than you see on base level mesh jackets? It is, but ultimately you're getting that air conditioning that when you're riding through the dead of the summer in a black leather in the impact areas jacket that carries this type of style, you get the full airflow front to back. The reason I don't give this jacket a 4-season rating is because on the outer shell you can't really ever fully turn that air conditioning on. Even with the liners in, this is going to vent directly to your waterproof, windproof liner, and interior of that would be your drop thermal liner, 130 grams, fully sleeve, fully removable on its own. But again, the fact that it's not a fully seam sealed outer shell means that I give it the best is going to be early spring through potentially late fall, but dead of winter, unless you're wearing heated gear, you're going to get cold. Keep that in mind. Nuances on the front here. 2 snaps of the collar, very basic, embossed Dainese logo on your snap. Basic pull from Dainese. You do have your basic hand warmer pockets. Again, no frills here. That's okay with me. The bells and whistles aren't getting in the way of the jacket itself. When we move our way down to the wrist, it's a medial side snap and a medial side zipper that does have a gusset behind it, which is a nice touch, allowing it to carry the CE rating. And we move to the inside here. You're going to see inside of the jacket is going to be your sanitized mesh liner. Then you have your waterproof, breathable D-Dry liner, and on the inside of that's going to be your full sleeve thermal. So again, remember, this is as bulky as this jacket gets, even with every single liner in. Turn and face that away, Briz. If he turns this side, you're going to see nice placement of a Dainese Demon logo. Underneath it's going to be the reflective 3M Scotch light. Again, hit with any type of beams or light at night, it's going to light you up. It's going to be the Demon, but ultimately you have a better chance of being seen. Moving down, minimization of seams. Notice here's my elbow armor, and it moves all the way down to my forearm. Now, if he raises his arm, Not a ton of stretch here, and I wonder for depending on different builds out there, how that might work for you, depending on how extreme your riding position is, depending on how the sweep of your bars or how far you're reaching. Ultimately, this jacket's a sport touring cut, so we're not gonna get any major issues with it, but depending on your build and your bike setup, again, it's not gonna have that gusset or it's not gonna have elastication to overly pronounce the range of motion. And again, that's just a decision that you're gonna have to make based on your normal riding style and what type of mobility that you might need. Moving down to the waist, 2 snaps, very basic at the seat. Notice the drop seat, it comes down to just a hair in the backside. Turn fully backwards, Briz. If I look at the back here, raised Demon logo over top your 3M Scotchlite. Love it. Fully reflective, worked its way in nicely. One of the best parts of Dainese is the Demon logo. I don't know what they're calling it these days. They said, oh, it's not the devil anymore. I think it's the devil. That's what makes Dainese badass. You just gotta roll with it. Looking at the top, notice it's a 2-inch high collar for all season coverage. Remember, leather typically doesn't like water, but this jacket is set up to get wet, so it's going to be that PU coating that allows the water to bead and roll off. And ultimately, you can always condition a leather, but it's not like bringing race suit leather out into the rain, which typically sometimes doesn't go so well. This jacket is set up for 3-season, all-season type riding. Moving to the back, we talked no back protector coming stock. Something like the Manus would be the CE Level 2 back protector that you can integrate. Come back around to the front for me there, Briz. Open it up. If you bust this guy open, you're going to see this is how our waterproof breathable D-Dry liner goes in. And I'm gonna call one thing out. These snaps here are for the thermal if you're not using the waterproof liner, and ultimately they don't have covers over them. So if you're using this jacket standalone with all the liners out, these might, at times, you might feel them. That's a little bit of a nitpick from us. And if we open it up on this side, that side was already done for me. Let's open it up here. Notice a few creature comforts here. One, you have the inner sanitized liner that feels like a very micro mesh, so it's gonna be comfortable against your skin if you're wearing this with no liners. Up here towards the top, you have the wicking layer. Now, it's not like a Trico liner. It's a little bit more of a textured material, but it's ultimately going to be much softer than the leather is, and it's gonna wick sweat as well as water away. Open it up from the top down. Notice this is your waterproof breathable liner, spring-loaded snaps. There's my rain gutter covering the main seam, which would be the entry point for water, because again, the waterproof breathability is baked into this removable liner. And notice even up here towards the neck, again, nice finish, nice microfiber around the back side of the neck. And as we bring it down, there's my thermal 130-gram quilted liner. So the inside of this guy is not finished, but I don't really care, because ultimately I'm using that when I need to stay waterproof and windproof, but ultimately it's not designed to be standalone sitting around the campfire. If we look at the thermal on the inside, same thing. They've minimized the neck. They're just trying to make it low profile so you don't get any bunching up around your neck. There are some pockets on the inside of it, trying to be thoughtful. And the last thing here is note 270-degree circumferential zipper in the back that again has an elasticated panel. So if you want to interconnect something like the Corbin with a Dainese multi-season pant, you absolutely can, completing the full suit. Now, all in, to sum up, very few gripes on the Corbin D-Dry. We like the style, we like the price, we like the execution of the functionality, we like that they gave you 2 separate liners. The waterproof, windproof comes out on its own, the thermal comes out on its own, again, really allowing you to fine-tune the temperature raising and the seasonality. We also like the way they incorporated the armor system into this jacket. Make sure you check out the other jackets in this range. Again, from Dainese, they make a multitude of other jackets that do have a waterproof, windproof rating. And then ultimately, if you're looking at this jacket, check out the Revit Ignition too as well. A little bit more of a retro style, where this is a little bit more high fashion Italy. The next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, we'll ship free over $39. If you want to talk to a Gear Geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our opinion, latest and greatest in the moto universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.